Ctv3 News. As the numbers of Mpox cases surge in South Africa, Belize's Ministry of Health and Wellness prepares frontliners for possible threat. Ministry of Youth and Sports strips Ken Roy Kahl from his CARICOM Youth Ambassador title amidst rape allegations. And we take you to Corozal, where consultation to end the child marriage in Belize takes center stage. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Thursday, August 22nd, 2024.
From Orange Walk North to Orange Walk East, from Orange Walk South to Orange Walk Central, all of Orange Walk will be united in celebrating on 31st August at the Philip Alvarez Park. It's the PUP Joint Endorsement Convention for our 4 champions from Orange Walk: Honorable Ramon Monchi Cervantes, Honorable Kevin Bernard, Honorable Jose Abelardo May, and Prime Minister John Briceño will be sworn in as our PUP winners for the coming elections. Come and listen to rousing speeches from our PUP generals from all over Belize. Then dance the night away to Lucio and the New Generation and Punto Siete from Mexico. It's a night of excitement and celebration at the Philip Alvarez Park on Saturday, 31st August. Join the Blue Victory Train and let's prepare for the clean sweep in the next general elections.
PUP, 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 all the way!
The BTIA Orange Rock chapter does it once again with the 7th Annual Tourism Expo. Come out on Saturday, August 24th, 2024 as of 10 a.m. at the Orange Rock Central Park and get great deals with BMDC, Hello Bali Belize, Enchantment and much more. Or visit informational booths including BTIA, RFNG, BTB and Digi. There will be lots of foods and drinks to choose from. Throughout the day, embrace our melting pot of culture with presentations from the Palmar Dance and Cultural Group with their Baile de la Cabeza, and a special demonstration by the Kinichaha Pokta Pok team and a Baile de Machete. Enjoy the dynamic musical entertainment by the Super Furia Band along with other local artists such as Tiny Melodies and Daddy Flow. Ignite your pre-September celebration engine and come out to BTA's Orange Rock Tourism Expo from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday, August 24th. See you there. This event is brought to you in partner by Orange Rock Town Council, Central Communications Company Limited, Diamond Sponsors, Belize Tourism Board, Belize Marketing and Development Corporation. Gold sponsors, DigiOne, Beltrade, Atlantic Bank Limited, Quasar Security Limited, DFC. Silver sponsors, Atlantic Insurance Company, RFNG, Madisco, Zeta Purified Water and Ice, Victoria House Resort and Spa, GSCOM, Program for Belize, Cocina Sabor, Oceana, Panificadora La Popular, and Courts.
Vacancy. A vacancy exists at Centaur Communications Corporation Limited for a video editor videographer in the media department. As a video editor videographer, you will be responsible for capturing and editing video content for various platforms, including social media, websites, and promotional campaigns. Key responsibilities: capture high-quality video footage for various projects, including interviews for news and morning show, events, and promotional materials. Edit and assemble footage into polished final products, incorporating graphics, sound, and effects as needed. Assist in the broadcasting of the morning show and evening news. Collaborate with the creative team to brainstorm and develop concepts for video projects. Manage multiple projects simultaneously, ensuring deadlines are met and quality is maintained. Qualifications: you must possess experience as a videographer and video editor, proficiency in video editing software, Adobe Premiere Pro, After Effects, DaVinci Resolve, Adobe Audition, and Photoshop, experience with camera equipment and lighting setups, eye for detail, ability to work independently and collaboratively in a fast-paced environment, ability to work flexible hours, excellent communication and organizational skills, willing to learn vMix, TriCaster, Data Video, and vMix UTC if no experience. experience. Interested applicants may submit a letter of application along with their resume, 2 letters of reference, and a police record no later than Friday, August 30, 2024 to Human Resources Manager, Central Communications Corporation Limited, 61 Queen Victoria Avenue, Orange Walk Town.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Joanna Rodriguez. UNICEF reported today a surge in Mpox cases among children in Eastern and Southern Africa, with over 200 confirmed cases across Burundi, Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya, and South Africa. The new variant of the virus, Clade IB, is present in all affected countries except South Africa, raising concerns about its spread, especially among young children and vulnerable communities. As of August 28, 2024, a total of 170 confirmed Mpox cases have been reported across 26 of the country's 49 districts. One of these cases, 45.3%, are female. Children and adolescents under the age of 20 make up nearly 60% of the reported cases, with children under 5 accounting for 21% of the total. In response to the ongoing concerns about the rising number of Mpox globally, Belize is wasting no time in making sure all departments considered as frontliners are prepared to respond when the need arises. Today, the Ministry of Health and Wellness met with all heads of departments from the Corozal-Free Zone and the northern border. All guidelines and protocols to deal with a possible threat of Mpox were reviewed with participants. Deputy Regional Health Manager Roger Riverall spoke to Ctv3 News via Zoom after the meeting about the importance of being prepared as a country.
A meeting with the head of department from the border, no? At the Corozal Free Zone conference room today at 10. We had present the Corozal Free Zone chairman, and we also invited the customs supervisor, the immigration supervisor, the Baja supervisor, BME supervisor, all the head of department in up north, because as you are aware, we are having cases of monkeypox in Quintana Roo, no? And you know that the northern border is the entry to our country, and you have the Corozal Free Zone there also, and you have the casinos there that have a lot of tourists coming into our country, and because Quintana Roo is very close to Corozal, we decided to have a meeting with these head of department to go through our protocols and establish places there where we will set up like in Free Zone. We establish a place where if there's a suspected case, where we will reach there to get the patient and bring them to the hospital, no? And we also did that at the border with BMA, and at Cargo, we selected an area where these patients will be placed if in case they are suspected to have contracted monkeypox. No? Okay, we went through the protocols and what they can expect of a patient if they have monkeypox. What are the symptoms? What are the blisters that they will have on which part of the body more or less will indicate that you have contracted monkeypox. What we did today, we met with the heads, but in about a week of time, we will be meeting with their staff. We will be going through our protocols, what they can use if they say a patient that is infected. The Ministry of Health will be providing them with some equipment, no? So like masks, PPEs, and some gloves, so that they can treat any patient. Not treat, well, they can handle any patient, no? We are the one that will be bringing the patient to the hospital, though. They only need to call us. We They have a focal point, which is the chief of staff and the infection control officer. We have a chat group with them, so they will be informing us if there is a case that they suspect, and we will be dealing with the patient. No.
What is also being looked at is the safety of frontliners.
You had some question for us, like if we are ready for any case, and we told them that the Ministry of Health is ready. We are our staff, our nurses and doctors are well prepared for the if a case arises in the country. No, their queries was who wanted to transport the patient to the hospital. So we will be providing the transportation, the ambulance and nurse will be going there with the driver to pick up the patient and bring them here to hospital. We went through how we can confirm if the person have monkeypox. No, so we also took our lab supervisor and he went into details how the swab is done to the patient and how much time they can get the result to know that the person is positive to monkeypox. No.
Similar meetings will be held at the western border in Benquevejo del Carmen and the PGIA in Ladyville as the ministry gears up to respond to any possible threat of the Mpox to Belize. With the Mpox virus being closely monitored by the world leaders, rumors of 2 Mpox cases in the Cayman Islands spread widely today, but the Ministry of Health and Wellness has firmly refuted these claims. The ministry clarified that this information is false, not issued by them, and urged the public to rely on accurate sources for information. Currently, there are no reported cases of clade 1 Mpox in the Caribbean. The region's limited travel links to affected areas help minimize the immediate risk. However, the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARFA, is advising increased vigilance. Dr. Lisa Indar, interim executive director of CARFA, commented, CARFA is monitoring the situation closely. The current risk to the Caribbean population from Mpox clade B is low to moderate, as no cases of Mpox have been identified in the CARFA member states. However, the identification of the first case of clade 1B outside of Africa is a warning call for public health authorities to be vigilant and necessitates enhanced surveillance by all Caribbean countries, inclusive of monitoring of incoming passengers and rapid early identification of potential cases and a well-coordinated regional and international response. Earlier in the week, Dr. Melissa Diaz-Musa, Belize's Director of Public Health and Wellness, announced the resensitization of healthcare teams in the country following the Mpox Public Health Emergency Declaration. Meanwhile, Jamaica's Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, convened a meeting today with the technical team from the ministry and the 4 regional health authorities in preparation for the possible reintroduction of Mpox in the country. Dr. Tufton emphasized that in non-endemic countries such as Jamaica, 1 case is considered an outbreak. Do you know that child marriage and early unions has tremendous repercussions on the physical, emotional, educational, health, and livelihood opportunities of both girls and boys, with girls being the hardest hit? Girls who are married as children are more likely to be out of school, suffer domestic violence, contract HIV/AIDS, or higher risk of morbidity and mortality due to complications during pregnancy and childbirth. Here in Belize, the roadmap to end child marriage and early unions is moving swiftly, with the Office of the Special Envoy for the Development of Families and Children leading the charge. The campaign to end child marriage in Belize is currently in its consultation stage, and today representatives from the various organizations advocating for change were in Corozal discussing the issue with key members of society. Elmer Cornejo reports.
Globally, child marriage has been practiced in every single nation, but that does not mean it's right. And the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund knows this too well. hence the reason why they came up with a global program to end child marriage campaign. Empowering young girls at risk of marriage or already in union, the program has reached more than $21 million in girls with life skills training, comprehensive sexuality education, and school attendance support since 2016. But despite a steady decline in this harmful practice over the past decade, child marriage remains widespread, with approximately 1 in 5 girls married in childhood across the globe, Belize included. This has prompted a campaign to end child marriage in our country by raising the age of consent to marry from 16 to 18 years old. Consultations on the topic have been ongoing across the Jewel. Today, representatives from organizations advocating for the change in the law made a stop in Corozal.
Well, the consultations are nationwide, and this is part of the human rights agenda championed by Honorable Dolores Valderramos Garcia, who is the Minister for Human Development, Families and Indigenous Peoples Affairs. And so this is part of her ongoing mission to secure human rights for everyone in Belize, and it's an important part of the discussion. This is the consultation towards ending child marriage and early child unions, and so as part of the ongoing consultations, this is really to hear what people, Belizeans, residents have to say on the subject, whether they agree or disagree that the age should be 18 without any conditions. Currently, you can marry at 16 with the permission of a parent. Parent has to sign. The consultation is whether or not that should be changed strictly to 18 without any of that condition. I personally believe that children should be allowed and encouraged to be children as long as they can be. And I don't think that if it stands to reason that if you can't vote and you can't buy a cigarette and you can't buy a drink, I don't know why we're allowing children to marry. A marriage is a lifelong contract, and for those that are religious, it's a covenant with God that says that you will always be with this person. In legal terms, it's a lifelong contract. You have a business partner for life. And I don't think that a child 16 and certainly younger than 16 has the wherewithal to understand and comprehend a union of that type and what it means for them and the rest of their lives.
Child marriage is defined as a marriage or domestic partnership, be it formal or informal, between a child and an adult, or between a child and another child. To drive down the numbers, the Special Envoy for the Development of Families and Children, Her Excellency Rosana Briceño, is involved in dialogue and communication campaigns to support adolescent girls or other efforts to end child marriage.
I'm very happy and very pleased to be here in Corozal. We had this consultation in Orange Walk last week, and now we're here in Corozal, and it's the culmination. We're getting to the ending of our consultations, and I know that this message is real. It hits home. It affects each and every one of us in one way or another. And I know that the women in our communities, the men in our communities, will be able to understand the reality of why it's important to change the age of consent of marriage from 16 to 18. And we're very hopeful that an impact can be made, and based on the consultations, then we will be able to gather all the data, put it together, and see what our communities are asking for and what they would hope to see. As the Special Envoy for the Development of Families and Children, my work is advocacy. And I'm here to work with all our NGOs, all of our governmental institutions, to have one voice, one solid voice to make a difference, to make a change. Being in these consultations, it gives me a deep appreciation for what our young people are going through, because really this initiative came from them. We are using our voices. I'm using my voice to reflect, to speak out on their behalf. So it is a pleasure for me to be a part of this consultation.
Available data confirms that child marriages are often linked to long-term negative consequences. The roots of the practice vary across countries and includes cultures, poverty, lack of educational opportunities, and limited access to health care.
You know, there's a lot of people that say, okay, well, this is our tradition. But traditions change, and traditions and even the law should reflect the needs of present society, present day society. There are a lot of things that were tradition that no longer serve modern Belizean society, and so they were left behind. I believe that child union and child marriage is one of those things that we are understanding the ramifications of, and the ramifications across the life of the person that contracts child marriage. And so I believe that now that we know better, the onus is on us to do better. I don't think that, you know, if having made a mistake, having gotten pregnant, for instance, while you're under the age of 16, actually justifies making an even greater mistake and getting married at age 15 or 16 and saying, well, that's it, that we have resolved the problem. I think it's putting on a band-aid on a gunshot wound, for instance. It really is just cosmetic. It actually ensures that we have bigger problems down the road and down the line, particularly because of, as we have seen from the data, especially girls, once they're in a union or a child marriage, are not allowed to return to school. And education is a big factor in poverty. It's a big factor in mortality, children's mortality, and complications, even during pregnancy.
The End Child Marriage campaign will travel to other parts of the country tomorrow, with consultations scheduled for Dangriga, Punta Gorda, and Bella Vista in the south, and Cayo in the west. Elmer Cornejo, Ctv3 News.
The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Transport is aware of the recent serious allegations made against Kenroy Call, the chairman of Red Bank and CARICOM Youth Ambassador. As we told you last night, the 24-year-old stands accused of raping a 21-year-old female from Independence Village. In alignment with the Code of Conduct that regulates the CYAs, the ministry has terminated Call's ambassadorial duties during the ongoing investigation to ensure that the focus remains on the integrity of the process and the well-being of all parties involved. In a release, the ministry states, and we quote, "We hope that the accused, if found guilty, receives the appropriate rehabilitative support and intervention to address whatever issues may have led to such an act," end of quote. The ministry also made it unequivocally clear that the ministry upholds a strict zero-tolerance policy towards any form of sexual violence, including rape. The alleged victim told cops that on Sunday, August 18, 2024, sometime after 3:30 a.m., she was taken to a dark building behind a restaurant in Santa Cruz Village by Cal, whom she had accompanied to the Happy Ranch nightclub. While inside the building, Cal allegedly forcibly touched her inappropriately and threatened to harm her if she screamed. She expressed fear for her safety as another individual, known as Ralph, stood guard at the entrance. According to the report, Cal then allegedly removed her clothing, turned her around, and raped her. The victim managed to push him away, quickly grabbed a piece of clothing, and ran towards her friend who was calling for her. Both women went to the Santa Cruz police station to make the report. A medical examination was conducted on the victim, and bruises were found on her thigh and stomach. Cal was formally arrested and charged for the crime of rape, while his accomplice, 21-year-old Ralph Akal, was charged with abetment to commit rape. Police have officially arrested and charged 22-year-old Ian Roy Herrera, a construction worker from Hattieville Village, for the murder of 66-year-old pig farmer Joel Andrews, known as New Year, on his workman Martin Shaw. The charges stem from the grisly discovery on October 23, 2023, when the bodies of Andrews and Shaw were found on Andrews' farm in Hattieville, where he raised pigs. The incident has shocked the local community, as Andrews was well known in the area. Herrera now faces 2 counts of murder as the investigation continues. Coming up next, consultations take place for biodiversity zones in Belize. Stay tuned.
We're calling it a multi-purpose park because it will have a variety of services and amenities. So right to my left here will be a state-of-the-art parking lot. Immediately in front of that, in 2 acres, we will have a hotel and convention center. Then on this side here, it's going to be recreational areas. On the northeast side, we're going to have an amphitheater for musicians so that persons visiting could have high quality entertainment with our well-known artists in Dangriga.
With this project, it gives the community an opportunity to work, to invest, to grow. More revenues for the town council. That means more streets, more drains, more parks, more playgrounds. The economy grows.
All of us have collaborated on making this a reality, and certainly this will have a huge impact in terms of employment, in terms of quality of life.
This evening, when we're looking at the park and the multi-purpose use of this park, this green area, and convert it to a park, again, it has to do with people, that they could bring people together.
From Orange Walk North to Orange Walk East, from Orange Walk South to Orange Walk Central, all of Orange Walk will be united in celebrating on 31st August at the Philip Alvarez Park. It's the PUP Joint Endorsement Convention for our 4 champions from Orange Walk: Honorable Ramon Monchi Cervantes, Honorable Kevin Bernard, Honorable Jose Abelardo May, and Prime Minister John Briceño will be sworn in as our PUP winners for the coming elections. Come and listen to rousing speeches from our PUP generals from all over Belize. Then dance the night away to Lucio and the New Generation and Punto Siete from Mexico. It's a night of excitement and celebration at the Philip Alvarez Park on Saturday, 31st August. Join the Blue Victory Train and let's prepare for the clean sweep in the next general elections.
PUP, 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 Alway!
The BTIA Orange Rock chapter does it once again with the 7th Annual Tourism Expo. Come out on Saturday, August 24th, 2024, as of 10 a.m. at the Orange Rock Central Park and get great deals with BMDC, Hello Bali Belize, Enchantment, and much more. Or visit informational booths including BTIA, RFNG, BTB, and Digi. There'll be lots of foods and drinks to choose from. Throughout the day, embrace our melting pots of culture with presentations from the Palmar Dance and Cultural Group with their Baile de la Cabeza, and a special demonstration by the Kinich Aha, Pokta Pok team, and a Baile del Machete. Enjoy the dynamic musical entertainment by the Super Furia Band, along with others local artists such as Tiny Melodies and Daddy Flow. Ignite your pre-September celebration engine and come out to BTA's Orange Rock Tourism Expo from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday, August 24th. See you there. This event is brought to you in partner by Orange Rock Town Council, Central Communications Company Limited, Diamond Sponsors, Belize Tourism Board, Belize Marketing and Development Corporation. Gold sponsors, DigiOne, Beltrade, Atlantic Bank Limited, Quasar Security Limited, DFC. Silver sponsors, Atlantic Insurance Company, RFNG, Madisco, Zeta Purified Water and Ice, Victoria House Resort and Spa, GSCOM, Program for Belize, Cocina Sabor, Oceana, Panificadora La Popular, and Quartz.
Win
big with Centaur. As a valued customer, we're showing our appreciation for your continued loyalty with an incredible promotion. Update your account and receive one ticket to win $1,000 cash towards your child's education expenses. Get an extra ticket for every month you pay in advance. One lucky winner for each of our 3 branches will receive $1,000 cash. Drawing date September 6 on the Despierta Belice morning show. Don't miss this opportunity to secure your child's education. Update your account now. Start earning those entry tickets and win big with Centaur.
The Public Utilities Commission continues to drive changes for Belize's utility and ICT sectors by creating new regulations and updating existing laws and rules to elevate the legal framework for water, telecommunication, and electricity. Overall, our work at PUC allows for better protection of consumers and the environment, a comprehensive integration of renewable energy sources into the national power grid, assures businesses continuity of utilities, promote competition and investments, and enhances national development in Belize. PUC, transforming the utility and ICT sectors by modernizing the regulatory framework.
World Breastfeeding Month is celebrated every year from in the month of August in more than 170 countries to encourage breastfeeding and improve the health of babies around the world. This year, the month is being celebrated under the theme Closing the Gap, Support Breastfeeding for All, and the Ministry of Health in partnership with local and international stakeholders have joined hands for the entire month of August to celebrate and promote the importance of exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life, as it is a vital step to long-term health. This week, experts from the Northern Regional Hospital visited our morning show to share some useful information and tips for young and even expectant mothers on the importance of breastfeeding.
It's about encouraging, and if you look at the theme that it has, Closing the Gap, support breastfeeding for all, meaning support not only because it's supposed to come naturally, but there is a need for a lot of support from everyone, the relatives, the neighbors, the institution. Let us all talk about breastfeeding and encourage the woman, not giving an option. Of course, we do have few cases that might have an option, but they are very, very few compared to everybody else. But if we're all talking the same language, most likely we will encourage the woman to breastfeed.
And while breastfeeding is a natural process which all mothers should be able to experience, the experts say there are some things you can do to make the experience easier.
So if you look at the nipple, the nipple supposed to be at the middle of the tongue to the back. So the baby will be covering the areola area, which is a dark area around our nipple. And that's where the sucking will happen, not on the nipple. If the baby sucks on the nipple, it will crack the nipple. So once a mom reaches with us with a cracked nipple, it's because, one, they're not positioning well the baby, and the baby is just sucking on that nipple.
New mothers should also remember that there are different forms of breast milk, each offering different benefits to your baby.
The first one is the colostrum, right? The first one that comes for the first 3 days, right? Those are rich in antibodies, and it's kind of yellowish, and they feel it like sometimes they say marisco, and that's why they throw it away, and that's like the first vaccine for the baby, right? So it's very important to give, because it's like that, and those antibodies that the breast milk contains, it will prevent infections and other diseases for the baby. So after that, we have the transitional milk, which is for 2 to 3 weeks approximately, and then we have the last milk, which is the mature milk. It is divided with the fore milk and the hind milk, right? Okay. At first, when they start feeding the baby, you can see like a bluish color, as you can see there in the picture. And with the time, it starts to get yellow, right?
Aside from the wealth of benefits to new babies, new moms also have a lot to benefit from breastfeeding.
It's before the mom gives birth. It's during the pregnancy that we would remind the mom that we are a baby-friendly hospital. As a baby-friendly hospital, we do exclusive breastfeeding. So the mother knows, and I think from now it's a little culture that people already know that, like how you said, they put it like the hospital is strict. In reality, it is advocating for breastfeeding, which when you are a baby-friendly hospital, you don't have other option.
The breastfeeding journey for young mothers and expectant mothers, according to nutritionist Wendy Sanchez, can be made easier by the diet we follow during pregnancy and even postpartum. During pregnancy, it is important to maintain a healthy and balanced diet, which will help to prepare the mother for breastfeeding when the baby comes.
It's before the mom gives birth. It's during the pregnancy that we would remind the mom that we are a baby-friendly hospital. As a baby-friendly hospital, we do exclusive breastfeeding. So the mother knows, and I think from now it's a little culture that people already know that, like how you said, they put it like the hospital is strict. In reality, it is advocating for breastfeeding, which when you are a baby-friendly hospital, you don't have other option. Friendly hospital, and it's part of the policy. So it's not the hospital, but it's the policy that is implemented throughout the public hospitals. No bottles, no milk, no formulas, nothing can be introduced in the hospital, right? Because otherwise you're breaking the policy. So it might seem like it is strict, but in reality is to advocate for this mom to produce her milk. Why? Because the production of this milk is by the baby being placed on the breast. And not only the putting the baby on the breast is important for the baby, but also right after delivery is super important for the mom to help put the placenta, two, to decrease the amount of bleeding after delivery and to have this bonding coming, which is super important. And of course, for us women afterwards, it is to help us lose weight, the baby fat, and also to decrease the chances of breast cancer. So there are many benefits for the mom. We always focus a lot on the baby, but the mom has huge benefits as well.
Good. Once your baby makes it into the world, new moms must also continue to maintain a healthy diet to ensure that milk supply is constant for babies exclusively for the first 6 months of life.
So the recommendation is 0 to 6 months. Exclusive breastfeeding, no tea, no water. As nurse mentioned, the breast itself contains the correct amount of water that the baby needs for their hydration, right? So they don't need to drink water, no teas because of the gas, etc. It's not recommended. It should be exclusive and on demand, 0 to 6 months.
While exclusive breastfeeding is recommended for the first 6 months of a baby's life, mothers may want to continue providing breast milk to babies until the age of 2 years.
The first one is we're giving more, after 6 months, we're giving more breast than food, which is not properly done, right? Because after 6 months, the breast doesn't have the sufficient nutrients for the growth of the baby. So we need to complement. We start with complementary feeding, which is we start with the vegetables, with the fruits and puree, start to introduce one by one. And then when we will stop breastfeeding, that's a decision between the mother and sometimes the child, because it's
sometimes it's harder. The mom is the one, that it feel hard to remove.
But there's the bill at 5 you have that child like right there still, and at that age, is the woman's body still producing?
Once there is stimulation by sucking, you will produce.
Right.
Okay, so there's an important thing why you shouldn't stop breastfeeding after the 6 months, because the milk has a very important fat that is necessary for the brain development. So that is super important. So whenever we introduce food, the breast milk should continue. There is no food out there that can replace the fat, the quality of fat that the breast produces. There's nothing out there. And our brain, we have neurons, right? And there are two things that make this neuron develop. Only two things coming, and that is protein and fats.
Consultations are currently being hosted across the country on the expansion of biodiversity protection zones. These consultations are being led by the Coastal Zone Management Authority and Institute in collaboration with the Fisheries Department. The identification of these protection zones comes after the government of Belize and the Nature Conservancy signed the Blue Loan Agreement and the Conservation Funding Agreement, known collectively as the Belize Blue Bonds, on November 4, 2021. The Belize Blue Bonds has 8 time-bound conservation milestones, of which 3 have already been met, with the obligation to meet the 4th milestone by November 4, 2024. Milestone 4 of agreement states that no later than 3 years after signing the agreement, the National Assembly shall approve and the government shall formally sign into law and gazette biodiversity protection zones covering a total of 25% of its ocean. So far, Belize has 20.3% of its total ocean space designated under protection as Biodiversity Protection Zones BPZ. To meet milestone 4, the identification and designation of an additional 4.7% of Belize's ocean space as BPZ is required. The identification of additional protection zones is being done through a stakeholder-driven process known as the Belize Sustainable Ocean Plan (BSUP). The proposed areas identified thus far include Lighthouse Reef Atoll, Glover's Reef Atoll, and east of Bacalar Chico Marine Reserve to the maritime boundary. Consultations were hosted this morning with stakeholders in the Belize district, which will then be followed by visits to fishing communities in the north.
These areas can change based on the feedback we get from fishers. Then we're inviting them for a validation session, and we put together the recommendation coming out of these communities.
What does meaningful consultation mean to the Fisheries Department? Can you explain that for us?
Well, we invite stakeholders, and we are hoping that those fishers would come out. And not only the fishers, we also have other interest groups like the tourism sector, the sport fishing sector. So to us, that is consultation. Whether stakeholders want to engage with us in those communities, then it's up to them. That's the entire process that the Coastal Zone Management Authority was carrying out, along with the Nature Conservancy.
Are you able to share what are some of the concerns of fishers? For instance, some months ago, we met with members of the Lopez camp, and they had some significant concerns about an increase in area that's going to be under reserve.
I cannot discuss whatever concerns. I haven't heard any concerns addressed to the Fisheries Department by fishers or the Lopez fishermen. I'm sure we'll meet with them tomorrow in the northern communities.
But are you saying then that fishermen in Belize are just okay with what's happening?
With this expansion, based on the meeting yesterday, I can speak to yesterday and today that they are in support.
I think some fisher folks, they're concerned because if you have the expansion and more areas conserved, then they have less here for fish.
But we clear that in the discussions. The area will be open to those fishing activities that fishers are carrying out, and we're not restricting fishers or any other activities that happen in the general use areas in the marine reserve.
So what changes?
We'll have more management presence, more enforcement out there, as it relates to the broader area of the marine protected area.
And by what amount is your budget going to increase to reflect this expansion?
Well, coming with this, under the government strategic allocation under the Blue Bonds, the department is being supported more, and with more monies for enforcement. And as you know, recently we had the National Enforcement Workshop, where we are looking at boosting enforcement operations in conjunction with other agencies, the Belize Coast Guard.
Similar consultations are expected in northern fishing communities in the coming days, starting with Shunush and Copperbank on Friday and Sarteneja Village on Saturday. And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
We're gonna need all the help we can get.
Let's get to work.
Tall, dark, and horny at 12 o'clock.
I've been waiting 40 years for this. They called themselves Ghostbusters. According to these hacks, they saved the world. No eyewitnesses. And who is found to carry the torch? Descendants of Egon Spengler. You have a miner hanging out the side of a moving vehicle, firing a laser gun indiscriminately.
It has a proton pack.
It's completely safe.
I wouldn't say completely safe.
The Ghostbusters are finished.
Right, well, overruled.
Sustained.
Thank you.
You the weird guy who buys strange old things?
Correct on both counts.
Buddy, you just hit the jackpot.
What is it?
Better question is, what's inside of it?
The parables tell of an unimaginable evil commanding an army of ghosts. With the power to kill by fear itself.
Like, literally scared to death?
We might be looking at a second ice age.
We're gonna need all the help we can get.
Let's get to work.
Can I be of any help?
Melnitz in uniform. Yes.
If there's something strange, if there's something weird, who are people gonna call?
Ghostbusters, what do you want?
We're the Ghostbusters. Can I tell you something else?
What?
Buster makes me feel good. It makes me feel good.
Heads up. Tall, dark, and horny at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's a historic day for Dangriga, for the country of Belize. We have been waiting for 24 years to open this port.
Today, with the collaboration of the government of Belize, I am pleased to welcome you to this groundbreaking ceremony to mark the rejuvenation of the Port of Commerce Bight and the return of commerce through tourism in Dangriga. The reopening of this port under Southern Deep Port Development Limited will see significant employment, planned for over 100 employees during the 3-year construction period and over 60 full-time employees thereafter, impacting the well-being of the Dangriga and surrounding communities.
We brought some consultants from the Bahamas who has done this in several Caribbean islands, and they went all across the country, and when they came back they signaled Commerce Bight as being one of the areas with the greatest potential for packet cruises and nautical tourism.
Any developing country or developed country, for there to be long-term development, there has to be a good port. We're going to work with you, that we're going to ensure that this is a success, because your success is our success, it is Belize's success.
From Orange Walk North to Orange Walk East, from Orange Walk South to Orange Walk Central, all of Orange Walk will be united in celebrating on 31st August at the Philip Alvarez Park. It's the PUP Joint Endorsement Convention for our 4 champions from Orange Walk: Honorable Ramon Monchi Cervantes, Honorable Kevin Bernard, Honorable Jose Abelardo May, and Prime Minister John Briceño will be sworn in as our PUP winners for the coming elections. Come and listen to rousing speeches from our PUP generals from all over Belize. Then dance the night away to Lucio and the New Generation and Punto Siete from Mexico. It's a night of excitement and celebration at the Philip Alvarez Park on Saturday, 31st August. Join the Blue Victory Train and let's prepare for the clean sweep in the next general elections.
PUP, PUP, PUP. Always!
After much waiting, the Department of Transport has successfully procured a new supply of license plates and stickers. Individuals with private motor vehicles who have yet to receive their license plates or stickers are advised to visit the DOT offices in their respective districts with their receipts of payment to obtain the required items. As previously mentioned, Belizeans had been experiencing mounting frustration over a year-long delay in the issuance of license plates, stickers, and driver's license across the country. But with that problem solved, today the Minister of Transport, Rodwell Ferguson, assured Belizeans a more efficient process moving forward.
I asked the Chief Transport Officer to do a countrywide notice. People can go and pick up their license across the country. That is in place right now.
What were some of the delays? Like, what took so long for the department to get those approved?
It's just maybe internal issues in terms of database. So we were able to put that database together, and now it is under control. We are from a minimum RIADA level and a maximum RIADA level. So in the future, there should be any problem with license plate and stickers.
The Department of Transport officially opened its new branch in Spanish Lookout located at Iguana Creek Road, Cayo District today. This milestone marks a significant step in enhancing transportation services and accessibility for residents and businesses in the region. The inauguration ceremony was held with government officials, community leaders, and local residents in attendance. At the ceremony were given by Honorable Rodwell Ferguson, Minister of Youth, Sports and Transport, Minister of State Gilroy Usher from the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Transport, Honorable Orlando Habet, Minister of Sustainable Development and Climate Change, and Community Leader Harry Letnanan. The opening of the Spanish Lookout branch reflects the government's ongoing commitment to infrastructure development and service enhancement in rural areas. Customers accessing this branch can now make payments for their transaction using their debit card. The Department of Transport is confident that this new branch will serve as a vital hub for the community, supporting the growth and development of the area. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Friday, August 23rd here on Ctv3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News BZ. From all of us here at Ctv3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.